So I'm kind of unsure how I'm going to start this video. So let's just start it up. What's going on, guys? My name is Archie. My friends call me Archie, so you can call me Archie. In a nutshell, my big picture goal has been to be in the best shape that I've been in my entire life. Just like for a lot of people, I'm sure 2020 for me was an extremely difficult year, but ironically for me and for my family, it was a very difficult year, but also the best year of my entire life. Let me explain. So for me, 2020 was difficult because as a DJ, music producer, engineer that makes a ton of my income off of traveling and performing, 2020 shut down and it caused all of my gigs, all of my traveling performances to either get canceled or to get postponed. Not only that, but not having the ability to see my immediate family, not having the ability to spend time with my circle of people that have been supporting me and loving on me, and just being able to build community with, it affected me in a way that caused me to lose a very huge part of my drive. Also, my wife is in the military, so dealing with the unsurety of her knowing whether or not she's going to have her full-time job, whether or not they're going to be doing cuts there, all of that affected us and affected our family in a way that caused us to just really have a lot of unclarity whenever it comes to how we were going to be able to pay our bills, how we were going to be able to move forward throughout the year in 2020. But in the midst of all of this craziness, me and my wife purchased our very first home, and also we had our very first child. The second that I held my son and I looked into his eyes, I knew that every decision that I make and every decision that I don't make no longer simply affects me, but it now affects him also. Every single thing that I do is going to be something that's going to influence him. And that caused me to dig down deep and really find a lot of the drive that had went away due to a lot of the things that were taking place in 2020. Now on to the fitness stuff. 2020 was also the year that I gained the most body fat that I've ever gained in my entire life. I was all the way up in January to 245 pounds, 30% body fat. I began in November a really deep search and studying for programs that would be able to help me reach my goals and help me to reach the desired body frame that I was striving for. And unfortunately, I really was just met with a lot of programs that kept me running into brick walls, kept me running into dead ends because they weren't working. And you can imagine, as you are spending your money and your time on things that aren't working, it can lead you to more discouragement and lead you into more of a hole as you're striving to accomplish something that you're trying to accomplish. It can be really easy, and if it wasn't for the fact that I told myself I'm not stopping, I'm not quitting, regardless to whatever walls I run into, that if it wasn't for me telling myself that, it could have been really easy for me to get to a place of discouragement that led to a place of quitting. Because whenever you run into walls continually like that, it can be really easy to blame yourself and say, am I doing something wrong? Is my body just not right? Especially as a person who's been plant-based for over 8 years, it can be really easy to second guess yourself. And so even though I was educated when it came to plant-based, I understood that it takes a different level of education whenever it comes to really striving after fitness goals and remaining plant-based. So January came along and I finally found a program that worked for me and for my body and really had me seeing results And that encouraged me a lot, and it caused me to really run forward in that, and I've been running forward in that ever since. But whenever it rains, it pours, is what they say, right? So it's so crazy because right whenever I was coming up on my 10% body fat goal and really striving at about week 5 of the 8-week challenge, I started to find my body feeling a little sick. So I went and got tested for COVID, and I ended up testing positive for COVID-19. It's a blessing because my symptoms weren't crazy. I had a fever, I had a little bit of a cough, and I could definitely feel the fever at night whenever I was sleeping, but it wasn't to where I was bedridden. And so I consider that a blessing because I was so driven in this challenge, and I am so driven in this challenge and so driven in my goals that I have set forward that I do listen to my body, and if my body tells me to stop, then I stop. But my body was not in a place to where it was just telling me completely to stop. So obviously I couldn't go to the gym anymore because I tested positive. So at that point I really began to adapt my workouts into home workouts, and that kept my energy going, and that kept me from being discouraged, and that kept me running in the right direction when it comes to the challenge, so that way I wouldn't find myself falling off. First Phorm has been a tremendous help for me through this entire process, from the macro tracking app, from the supplements, the pre-workout and the post-workout, the community of people that really gather together around to help you fight for your goals. I mean, I'm a firm believer that surround yourself around people that will help push you. Surround yourself around people who have the same mindset that you have, and you are going to see yourself go farther. And that's one of the things that I'm extremely grateful for when it comes to First Phorm, because I know that with the people that have been walking alongside of me, it has helped me tremendously to continue to go forward and see the goals that I'm striving to be accomplishing. Somebody asked me what keeps me motivated the entire time. My motivation really is looking at my son. That is a huge motivation for me because, like I said earlier, everything that I do is going to be influencing him. And I really want to be able to look at my children and tell them, baby, you can accomplish anything you want. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. And they can look at my life and they can believe me, and they can say, I can accomplish anything that I want, because when I look at Dad, I see that he's accomplished the goals that he set out in front of him. And he's not just telling me stuff, but he's actually living it. So for me, that truth is one of my biggest motivations to not quit and to continue running forward. We have so much influence in the lives of our kids, and to be honest, that is the thing that pops in my mind whenever it's a day-to-day thing. You know, it's on a daily basis that pops in my mind whenever it's 6 p.m. and I still have 5,000 more steps, and rather than saying, oh man, like I'm good, I've done enough steps today, I get up and I go get my 5,000 more steps in, you know, rather than when it's 4:30 in the morning and I know I need to be at the gym by 5, rather than just laying there and saying, oh, I'm not gonna work out today, I get up and I go, because those daily decisions are huge when it comes to the big picture. You know, it's not necessarily one giant leap from this side of the pond to from this side of the shore to that side of the shore, but it's those gradual steps that are going to make the big difference. So I'm super grateful for Phorm. I'm super grateful for this community and the support that you guys have given me. And even if I don't win the 8-week challenge, I know that I can, with confidence, look at my children and look at myself in the mirror and see that I'm accomplishing my goals. I can see that I'm seeing my body transform and see my life transform before my eyes. And I can look at my kids and I can tell them, you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And for anybody watching this on YouTube, watching it on your phone, anybody watching it at Phorm, if I can do this, if I can accomplish this, you can accomplish this. If nobody has told you today, go get it, because you can do that. The things that you start right now, you're going to be thanking yourself in 6 months.